It's going to be a lot of bleeps in this one.
It's going to be great. It's great.
That'll just be the reel in general. It's just
that would be great. That'll be Tony's on
closed caption.
This is Tony bleep 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 Masakowski.
Retired.
Give me a baby to kiss. My name's Todd.
When you are feeling close to me, and you tell me you care, you know joy fills inside of me. Tell me freely what's in your heart.
This is so dumb. We're not going to get to anything. This is the worst.
But also-
It's not the worst.
that. I
It's not
shouldn't
the
say
worst.
that.
No,
He's a good I like Todd.
He is. Let's
All right.
let's go
start.
to your question.
Yeah,
Let's
start out, man. Let's
Hi,
start
everybody.
this thing.
Hi, everybody.
Wait, hold on a second. Are we recording?
yes.
All right.
Everything's fine.
We are
now.
cool. We're clear for takeoff. Take me where this is ever going to go.
What I like is that Keith was going to ask his question he asks everyone, and Tony's like, I know what you're going to ask. 7. So what about 7?
What about it?
What about it?
Well, I didn't know what that question was. The question.
Your first memory
My first
that
memory.
you have.
Oh, geez. My first memory that I have.
Not first of
Oh,
all.
that wasn't.
First
that
of all,
wasn't
everybody. This is Tony Masakowski.
Oh yeah,
He's a guest.
he's a guest. Okay.
My name's Keith. This is Nicole.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. Okay.
Well, hey, are we?
Today is going to be a fun one. Explain Tony and how
So
you know
Tony,
him.
I've known Tony my entire law enforcement career. He worked for the sheriff's department in Oconto County. I worked for Oconto Falls Police Department, and was one of the fun ones. Like we I think we joked for years that we were each other's best work friends.
Best work friends.
Remember that?
Yep.
And then you had to leave.
Yep.
You had to leave and then go be a lazy bones in the court.
Best decision ever made.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about law enforcement,
All right.
our relationship, family life,
Coaching.
You know, and now Tony's almost officially retired.
Yep. So
We'll talk about that.
talk about that.
And the new adventure.
And, we got a new adventure. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that I'm very proud of.
So I like to ask everybody what your very first memory of is as a child. Not a memory that is like you remember the picture of.
Or you
like
were told.
Yeah, but like what you actually remember, good, bad, or otherwise. Like,
Yeah, I'll jump right to it. I was like maybe 2 or 3 years old. We lived in Milwaukee, and I was a curious kid at the time, and there was a bumblebee in the backyard, a big bumblebee, and it was furry. So I went to go touch it and stung me in the finger. I remember that. That's it.
did you cry like a little baby?
Like I don't remember
He was
crying.
a baby.
I don't remember crying, but
Probably.
probably. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
If I can remember that, that's
Yeah.
probably a traumatic moment in my life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually didn't know that you lived in Milwaukee
Yeah, I was born there. So
until how old?
5 years old.
And then you
Moved north.
big metropolis.
My
of Shadow.
dad was we lived in a city all his life and decided he was going to be a farmer, like Green Acres.
Really? Is that what happened?
Yeah, 100%. He bought this farm and we had no idea what the hell we're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he doing before that?
Truck driver.
And he's like, I'm going to farm. I'm going to get out of the city.
Yeah. And I think in his way, he was just wanted to get a better life for his family.
Good choice.
And so like me and my brother and my sister, I have an older sister. We grew up on the farm, it was fun. We never were inside and all that stuff. Like, you hear now, or we never really had any money, so we had to make up our own games and stuff. And
Multi-meal and stuff.
generic multi-meal. But, we were always in the hay mound, playing football or something, or we get to drive vehicles when we were 10 years old and stuff. So we just had a really cool childhood,
That is cool.
Yeah. But then I think it was like eighth grade or something like that. Then we lost the farm, and
How'd you lose it?
I don't.
Like financially, or
Yeah, I think there was something with the feed that the cows weren't getting some salt or something like that, and we never took it off. But there had to be a lawsuit or something like that involved with that too. And I don't remember how the outcome went, but we lost a lot of the herd because of that.
like they died.
Well, they were sodium deficient,
Oh,
and so that you make mistakes, when you don't really know, and so that was a mistake that probably
Cost a lot.
put the nail in the coffin,
oh yeah, that's terrible.
So, and then they got out of that, and then I think my mom, worked outside the house, and so did my dad, and that was the end of the story there. Grew up in Shawano, so.
Graduated from Shawano High.
Yep, 1994.
What drew you to Oconto County? Like, why'd you go work there?
Well, I really wanted to work for Shawano PD. That was like my goal, and I was working at the casino there. I didn't graduate college yet, and I was just about ready to graduate. I think December of 97 is when I graduated. And then my sister sent me something in the newspaper. It says there's an opening in Oconto County. So I applied, and I got hired there, and I haven't looked back since. So
Cool.
Yeah. Had some other jobs in between there, but I was always there for the last 28 years. So
Wow.
yeah, weird. And then, today's world, that longevity like that at one place is just
It's a long
kind of
time.
unheard
Yeah,
of.
doesn't happen.
Yeah. So, but I always played it safe, and that was a safe option there. So if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. How many sheriffs did you go through during your career?
We started out with Doug McMahon, and then Sheriff Jansen, and then Todd Scarbin. So I only had 3, which was, the last sheriff, I think he stayed for 16 years, and I'm pretty sure the current sheriff will probably stay for another 30.
35.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see him doing anything else in his life besides being the sheriff.
I see a politician.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. Like I said, we talked about it.
Don't
I
tell
see
him
it.
to do it.
I
'cause
told him when
then
he was here, I'm like,
he'll
he
do
has
it.
he has the height for it.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to be tall.
Well, he looks the part.
He does. He looks like when I saw him and Mike Saucy walking in from the parking lot, and I didn't know who they were at first. I'm like, oh, what are they going to try to sell me? It's exactly what I was thinking. They just looked like scuzzy salesmen. You know what I mean? They are not scuzzy, but they just had that look. Like I'm going to sell them something.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then I walked past him.
Kind of like you with your hair growing out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh no, I know you guys. You guys aren't salesmen. You're law enforcement.
Yeah. Well, so what are you selling?
But it's like a politician look too.
Oh, he walks
Right?
it. He talks
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he definitely, he knows what he's doing. I did actually have a conversation with him about that. And, I talked to him about I'd be your campaign manager. We can get into this, we can, we'll get you into Congress, and we'll be in there for 2 years, and we'll just cash out. And we'll just cash out. Give me some of that Israel money. Give me some of that welfare money. I don't know, whatever I need to do.
Whatever they do.
I just need a mansion like Nancy Pelosi, okay?
With a salary of $90,000.
Yeah, $160,000 salary, which you get taxed a holy what on.
Right.
And worth $85 million. That's not bad for a $60,000 salary.
All of them.
Yeah, every one of them.
Every one of them.
Yep.
I know.
Every one of them is on the take. I think there was something that was some study had done. There's like 2 people that are not on a take.
Who's that? Without getting
that green lady, whatever her name was, she was the one that but then, you never know, because it seems like whatever you think you're signing up for to be part of, there is some
Something
kind of
else.
donor in there that's
backdooring
it. And then you don't even know what you're doing anymore when you're in there, I feel. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to do good. Like, I see some of these people that are going there and they're going, oh, we're going to do good. You know what? They end up just like everybody else.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's hard to beat it. So
Try to dodge it.
Todd, if you're listening, hey, we can make some money, buddy. You can put a mansion on that hill. So I don't know. That's what I think. And we talked about this before, Nicole. I really do think politics is, you got to be somewhat immoral to do it.
Mhm.
You know, I know everybody has a good cause and they want to do their thing and stuff like that, but there's just so much corruption there. It's like if you get into it, it's like you're going to be exposed to it, and it's so, you got to be such a moral person
Mhm.
to say no when I
Mhm.
flash $1 million in your face or something like that. And that's why I don't think I could do that.
Mhm.
I really don't. It would ruin me inside
Mhm.
as a person, I think,
I agree.
you know? So
It's like they get into survival. Like they have to
yeah.
survive or
Well, yeah, you get used to whatever is coming
Yep.
at you, or if not, they're going to vote you out.
Yep.
You know, they'll get it out. They'll get you out one way or another, you know? So you see it all the time.
Do you think your wife has a higher moral compass than you?
Yeah.
why? Why'd you ask that?
We were talking about.
Oh, I'm like, that's a
Yeah, 100%. My wife has got so much empathy for like everything. And you know,
was yours taken, you think, with your career? I'm not saying you're not empathetic, but do you think maybe during your career and
callous,
things you've
possibly.
seen, you're less
Yeah.
empathetic because you've seen the shady shit that happens behind the
yeah,
scenes?
she'll tell you all the time that, you know, this isn't, you know, courtroom Tony at this house here and stuff like that. Cause
Mhm.
you know, I'll say, you know,
You
like
guys
say
got
shit.
catchphrases?
Courtroom
No,
Tony.
she goes, this isn't bailiff Tony. I'm not a prisoner or something like that.
Bailiff, better nickname than Bag of Donuts. Bailiff Tony.
Yeah, so she'll get on me and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, because I am callous. I'm like, no, it's not the way it is. So, you know, I learned that from you know, a lieutenant I had that we had, Matt Morsy, that guy.
Oh, he's a
Great
great
dude.
guy.
Yeah, he's like, this is the way it is, and if you didn't agree with it, I don't care. You know, it's like, this is the way it is. You know,
He is a great guy,
talk about callous, holy shit, right?
but he has the kindest eyes.
Oh, you
Softest-
can't see him, man. They're like eagle eyes. He's like this. He's always analyzing. He's just always like seeing through. He's like a hawk. He's always looking for his prey. You ever see that? He's always hunched over like a orangutan, looking to
can-
beat somebody up.
I
You
can
ever see that?
immediately tell.
You
You know,
are
he's.
not wrong.
Yeah.
But I can tell immediately when I see him what type of mood he's in.
So
Immediately, like I can read his body language so
he
well.
used to light up when he saw me.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
God.
it's just those
And
lights.
then I would
just
say
dimmer.
something and he would slam the table. And when you're a lieutenant, you can make those decisions.
so these are true. I don't know that side of him. I just photographed him and his family, so I saw him as grandpa.
Yeah, no, they're great. Matt
Oh,
was
yeah.
the best. He was
He's
the
awesome.
best.
Yeah.
He would ream you a new one, right? And then ask you, hey, how's the boys doing? You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was,
Like
okay,
he cared.
yeah. Well, it was, I had to get this out and you got to get yelled at
Now let's move on.
and let's move on. Don't do it again. You know?
I loved his passion for break. Like that.
Oh,
was-
you had to.
I've said this before, like with
Mhm.
Keith Sorley, but I feel like the job and law enforcement in general, most of the fun comes from the camaraderie.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
like-
that.
It's just it is a good job. You serve a great purpose, and it's a good feeling when you do like good
Yeah.
for the community. But
Yeah.
also, like everybody wants to have a fun job, and the camaraderie is what
Yeah.
makes it fun. And if you
Yeah.
don't have camaraderie, it's tough.
Well, it was, you know, I'm going to tell you something. It was really tough for me too, because I felt like I was on a fast track to promotions, this and that. I thought, you know, I thought I was the best cop out there, you know? And then
You
this
were. Do you remember you?
Yeah, I remember me.
Way back then. He
Yeah.
was a good cop. He was a good cop. He did good
I
work.
can never tell if you're being serious with him or not.
Oh no, Keith and I did good work. Yeah, it was
There's
we
all
did
those
really good
other
work.
lazy
It was
bones.
smart. We did smart work.
Just kidding.
We like arrested people when they were still sleeping. You know, it was smart. You know, smart work. You know, I'm like, why are we waking this asshole up? Let's just handcuff him while he's sleeping. Hey, good idea, Keith. Yeah, I was gonna beat him up, you know, or something. You know, I don't know.
Kind of like what just recently happened.
Oh,
Did we kidnap a dictator from
Oh, when he
somewhere?
was sleeping.
oh, he's sleeping. Yeah. They got that tactic from me and Keith.
I thought
So no, like talk about Matt Morsy and how important break was. You know, sometimes, you know, and I know this right now that those guys don't break like we used to. We used to break, and it was kind of weird because it was like if it was your night to get picked on, you just took it. Because
Yeah.
you know it wasn't going to happen the next night, you know, because you know the other guy's going to get it, you know.
Yeah.
But you just took it. You just laugh, and we just had a good time. Nothing was personal. It was great, and it helped with the camaraderie.
Oh,
it helped because you know, and you can tell if you're working with somebody, and you're sitting there and you're working with them, and you can tell in their voice when things change.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that was part of that break too. You know, you can tell like, you know, when you're pissing them off or if, you know, how their voice changed if they got excited. So when you heard them, this is my theory, guys. When you heard them on the radio.
This isn't science.
Hey, maybe.
There's
There's probably
science
everything's science when you look at it, you know. But you know, and I thought, you know, if they raised their voice, you would hear those tones when they're in the radio, and then you knew that you had to react a different way, you know, when you're responding to a call with them or something,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you know, oh shit, he's on edge. So
You're right.
now I got to be the guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, instead of the backup, you know, I
Right.
know, you know, so you know,
Mhm.
stuff like that I picked up on, you know, while I was out there, you know.
That's a good point.
My favorite part about you know, being in law enforcement, it was you know, just helping like you said, helping the people that needed help, you know, like, you know, the bully busting stuff, you know, like, you know, we were always like, somebody is, you know, couldn't defend themselves on something or whatever it was, you know, there I was, I stepped in and like, hey, not that I saved the day. I wasn't, you know, carrying grandma out of a burning building or anything like that. But, you know, I was able to, you know, if I had a situation where I was working with somebody and, you know, something bad happened to a victim, you know, I took that to heart and I was able to, you know, do a really
That's
good
good.
job with
That's
that.
actually
Mhm.
actually one of my first memories of you
What's that?
is like how well you can talk to victims and like about sensitive things and how well you're like,
Wow.
Just
Impressive.
because keep in mind at that time I only knew funny Tony.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah.
know serious Tony
Yeah.
or bailiff Tony.
Yeah. Oh gosh, bailiff.
Nobody
Tony.
knows bailiff Tony.
I only knew bag of donuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And like it was
but getting
it
back
was
to
something that I
to
aspired to
break
be.
though, how important break was.
He's like, don't talk good about me and let me talk you to about
Yeah. Getting back to break and how important that was. And I kind of hope the guys do it because we don't have like briefings before shifts or nothing like that. But I wish these guys would still like get together, even if it's for like, you know, 15 minutes of coffee or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, just to know what kind of, you know, mood those
Yep.
guys are in, you
Yep.
know, you never know if somebody just got their, you know, asses
Right.
kicked at home and, you know,
It's
or
a good
having a
mood
bad
check.
day or
Yep.
something,
Mhm.
you know, or some tragedy in their life where, you know, well, you know what, maybe I'll hang up more to where you're at so
Mhm.
that, you know, I help you with all the calls that, you know, today or something like that. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I just, you get more camaraderie with when you guys meet. And
Mhm.
Matt said that was very important when he worked because he wanted to know how we were that night.
Mhm.
And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, he wanted to know how we were that night. And then, you know, it was always up to me to him off. And no, I think it only happened one time that I know of. But
We'll have Matt on next. and
Yes,
see what
I
he
was
has
I
to
working-
say.
asked him last night if he would
yeah.
come on. He's like, I don't know what we would talk about. I'm like, are you
Oh.
kidding me? We have so much we could talk about. We just
He
got to
would just be
remember
like,
it.
he would just be like one-liners. Yeah. No.
You're right. You're right.
But I'll tell you one Matt Morsy story and then we'll move on from there. But I had working with two other guys and they were younger than I was, and I was the oldest guy on the shift, and I used to work out with Matt every day before our shift. I'd go to his house and we'd work out in the granary.
Oh yeah, he
and then-
showed me that.
and go to work and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And a lot of times you go with a puffed up eye or a bloody nose, you know, like, all right, who's next? When you walk into a domestic, it looks like he's already in one, you know. But it was fun. It was great. We got really close, but these guys, you know, they were upset that Matt wasn't filling shifts, you know, and Matt thought he could just, you know, work the whole county by himself. You know, that's how he was, you know, this is what it was when we were on. I was only one on, you know. I'm like, well, you know, things different. You know, we got probably about 15,000 more people to work with, you know, since back in 1990, you know, I don't know. But so anyway, so they were pissing and moaning, and they would call me and, hey, you need to say something to him, you know, because they were too chicken to talk to him, you know, and I wasn't. I was like, all
Who's
right.
they? Like other supervisors?
No,
or
two
like-
guys that we worked with.
Okay.
I'm not going to name names because,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. But, you know, they were like, hey, you got to talk to him. You got to talk to him. And they use me as a liaison to get to Matt. So I'm like, all right, well, my would like do it right at break in front of everybody instead of like taking him by himself and, hey, we need to talk about this, or whatever.
All of a sudden the idea pops in Tony's head. Oh yeah.
Sit down.
The guys were talking.
Yeah. No, I didn't even put it that way. I took the whole thing. They knew that I would run with it. So I just like, hey, what's going on this weekend? Did you call anybody? He's like, no. Because we was like Saturday and Sunday, there was nobody extra on for.
So so for the listeners or viewers, what is extra? Like, explain how big Oconto County is and what a typical shift should have.
It's about 1,000 square miles.
Yeah,
and
it's like 60 some miles from tip to tip.
Okay.
And there's the call like when I first started on the road there, the call volume was probably like maybe we get up to 10,000 calls. And right now we're at 20,000.
Okay.
So I don't know like the population of the county, but I know it triples, during the summer, but,
Right.
or during like holidays
Right.
and stuff. But so there's a lot more going on with the boom in the southern end of the county and stuff. And
So a
but at that
typical
time-
shift. Okay.
but
sorry.
at that time we were probably right around 12, 1,000 calls a month about that.
And there was like a deputy for each area.
Yeah, so we had 3 areas in the county.
Okay.
There was a north car, a middle car, and a south car, and then you had a supervisor on, and it worked out
And he
pretty
didn't
good.
count as a person.
He counted himself as 2. Okay, because there'd be guys that taken off and he doesn't fill the shift, and I'm like, well, what? He goes, I'll just work the county. I'm like, all right.
There's been a few times that I recall, and not so long ago, that and it was a small period, but there would be 4 officers for the entire county. Well, I'm talking the cities, 1 in Oconto, 1 in the Falls.
Like including cities.
And then 2 deputies and nobody else anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like and
That's like
it was
wild west stuff.
it was a small window of time.
Yeah,
you're like, do not find anything to do.
You would be mad if somebody was running traffic. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you doing? What if something happens? We got to all respond, and you need to get those guys and you just give them a call and say, hey,
Yeah.
come on now. Let's use our head here.
Mhm.
Unless it's, emergent, or
Right.
you see something that definitely have to do, we'll be pulling somebody over for
Burnt out headlamp.
or
Yeah.
what, I don't know. You don't want to like put yourself in out of position. That was a trick for that.
Yeah.
So how did it go when you addressed it to him?
So he comes in, he sits down, and he pops open his laptop, and he just looks around the room like this, and he's like, how you guys doing tonight? I'm like, cool, I'm glad you asked, Matt. So
Got a speech prepared.
yeah. So I'm like, hey, what's going on Saturday and Sunday? Are you going to fill that shift? He's like, no. I'm like, well, why not? He's like, because we don't need it. I'm like, well, says who? I said, because I was thinking maybe the sheriff told me he couldn't fill any shifts or something like that, and he was like, well, we got it. I'm like, well, I know that, but it's not what we want.
We don't want it.
Yeah. And long story short, he stood up, slammed his fist on the table, and he says, if you want to make the schedule, then you be a lieutenant. I said, if I was a lieutenant, I would have, put somebody on. And that was it. He got up, walked out, and then about 5 minutes later, I had to make sure I call him. Hey, you okay? He's like, yeah, why? He's like, yeah, why? Right? I'm like, wow.
Just feel like I got yelled at by my dad.
Exactly. Work dad just kicked my ass,
So was the shift filled?
Probably not. I told you there was one way with that man. And it was his way. Oh, but no, he was a great man.
Almost died.
Yeah, he almost died.
I helped save him.
Did you?
No big deal.
CPR.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I got that over his head.
Yeah. That's
I helped save your life.
His son, his son Colin was a big part of, keeping him alive and stuff like that.
Huge.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because, I know the boys since they were this big and stuff. And, Colin says, Holly, your parents says they brought you into this world. I could take you out. He's like, well.
So I went there. One of his daughter-in-laws, which one, Brooke or Brianna, one of them hired me to take their pictures.
Yeah.
And I usually so I don't do pictures as much anymore. And I don't like to go to locations because people will be like, oh, it's really great. And it's like it looks like Aunt Susan's backyard. Not great for a backyard. And not maybe Susan has a great backyard, but most cases it's not. Well, one of the daughter-in-laws is like, we're going to do it at the Morsy farm. And Keith's like, take it. You're going to
want
love
to
it.
do that.
You're going to want to
Yeah.
take pictures
Like-
out there. I pulled in.
Did you take anything with the tractors, his case tractors?
No,
or his
he probably
internationals or
would have.
whatever?
He probably would have wanted. But I pulled in on the driveway. I stopped, and it was like breathtaking.
It's
It was
beautiful.
so pretty for like as a photographer, like looking at everything. And
Mhm.
I don't know because I didn't work with him,
Yeah.
so I don't know that side of him. But him I have a really good picture, and Kami will have you put it in of him holding one of his granddaughters. He is so soft
Yeah.
as a grandpa.
Oh gosh.
And he is the
Oh, yeah.
kindest eyes. So it's
Yeah.
just, it's interesting to hear how he is as a, like as a
Mhm.
cop working but he's definitely different with his sons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I can see the hard ass side completely,
Oh.
but those grandkids, they could
Mhm.
do whatever. And he's just been,
So
yeah.
when I say I knew the boys when they were little, I did a ride along with Matt when I first started, and we went to go stop at home to, it was like 8:00 at night to put the kids that he wanted to say goodnight to the boys and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I think Colin was 7 and Jake was like 4 or whatever. And Colin gives dad a hug and a kiss, goodbye and stuff like that. And then Matt goes down to lean down by Jake, and Jake hauls off and just hits him. And it was the loudest. I'm like, what the you just let your kid he's like, yeah, that's a good one, Jake. Here, give dad a hug now. I was like, holy.
But you keep in mind, huge wrestler. Like,
Oh yeah.
was into boxing for a while, like
Yeah.
Matt was.
Yeah.
And
Well, if
then
anybody knows wrestling, the
Yeah.
Morsy name,
And-
people are like, oh, I
and
know.
like,
that.
Yeah.
their
I
basement
sent
was
my kids to go. I sent my kids to go there to go train.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
they had an old farmhouse, and their
It's
basement
beautiful.
was covered in wrestling mats.
Yes.
Like, just
And don't his granddaughters wrestle?
uh,
During-
I don't know.
During
I don't know.
family pictures, all that was going on was wrestling with his grandkids.
Oh,
And they're
really?
like, yeah. It was just,
Yeah, it's
Great.
great stuff. Great family. So yeah, cheers, Matt.
Yep.
For being alive.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Keep getting those pension checks, buddy. So love
they
it.
gotta be stout too.
Oh,
he worked
he's-
for like 40
yeah.
years.
He lived on Mountain Dew and 2 hours of sleep, man. That guy
he
was
looks like
nuts.
he's in great shape.
Well, he worked out every day.
Yeah,
of his
you know
life.
that driveway you pulled up there? He would do sprints, 10 of them, up and down there before he'd go to work.
Shut up.
Yeah, just ridiculous, right?
And like at what age?
like 60. I don't know how old
Yeah,
he
he
is. He's
like-
probably
Still-
like
He was working out with the kids at wrestling practice up until I left the Falls a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's in very good physical.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So the heart attack is
Oh, so I remember this. He told me this. He said, and I don't. Yeah, I guess he won't care if I share this.
he's not gonna listen.
He probably won't.
He does
He'll be in the
listen.
tractor like, oh, damn, toenail, and kick the out of him.
He said, well, all that he said to his doctor after his heart attack, he's like, all that working out all those years, that was a waste of time or
No
something
way.
like that. Something to that effect. And the doctor said, that's the reason why you're still alive.
Yeah.
It's because of all that training
Dad,
that
your
you've
son
done.
was right there.
Yeah,
that
Giving you
helps.
CPR.
That helps immediately.
Yeah.
No, but that has to for recovery and everything.
Recovery.
Yeah.
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 100%. Yeah. And he's going to be diligent in what he does now.
Mhm.
But
So 28 years you had at the Sheriff's Department.
yeah, it's been a ride, man. It's awesome.
How long in patrol?
22.
And
Did
how
you ever
long-
make it to lieutenant?
Oh, it's funny you asked that.
No, I'm not being cocky. I don't know the
Yeah.
answer to that.
No, it was pretty much the position I had. I did a
like
lot of
patrol position or your
no,
court?
my court position.
Okay.
But it was a very admin type position. I had a lot of jobs,
Mhm.
so to
Yeah,
speak,
for
around
sure.
the office to do, like PBT work, and I was the taser guy and stuff like that. And I just, I was kind of like a liaison between the DA's office, the sheriff's office, the judicial office, and the sheriff's office. I was the guy that went back and forth, and
Mhm.
guys would pick my brain and stuff like that. When it ended up being, you kind of need to put, bars on a position like that. You kind of, the more admin work that I was doing, I took care of all the probable cause, took care of all the fill the pay warrants, all that stuff. You kind of need like, for somebody to take this job serious. It was a serious job.
Mm-hmm.
And before, when Todd first started, it was you had 13 inmates in the jail, and it wasn't a very big to do. But we have now 100
You have
plus.
a big jail now.
Yeah,
don't
we
you?
have 100 plus inmates in our jail, and there's a lot of court. So you kind of need that. And the position grew. We got 2 people in there. And then as I was going out the door, they said, "Hey, if you stick around, this is looking like it's going to be a lieutenant's position, stuff like that. And obviously, you'd be be considered, as a candidate for a job, And I'm thinking, oof, yeah. And then I was like, I just want to get out of here. I don't know what it is. I thought, and I really did. I thought I had the best job in the world. I love my job. My wife will say different. My wife will say, "Oh gosh, you're miserable. You don't want to go." And she's probably right. Cause who the hell wants to go listen to everybody's worst day ever, over
Every
and over
day.
and over.
Yeah.
So, maybe I was a little bit, hit me a little bit that way, but, I love going to work, and I love my supervisors, and I love, working with the judges and the DAs and
Dude, you don't even work there anymore. What are you doing? Like, why are you?
because I loved it. and this is important.
Todd's going to be like, yeah,
No.
come work for us.
Well, yeah, he probably, well, listen to Tony's story if you know. But no, I was a little different though. It's like, I didn't.
It'll be part of his campaign.
Yeah.
It'll be just Tony talking.
You want to be like Tony. Yeah. You look how happy that is. So, but I always knew it was just a job though too. So, I like going to work, and I wanted to leave on good standards.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to leave not disgruntled. I didn't really give a shit what anybody thought about me, but I wanted to leave where I felt like, yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of way I did it. I could have stayed. I could have stayed longer. I could work that job till I'm 65,
Mm-hmm.
But it was like time to cash out,
Mm-hmm.
time to get that APAC money,
Mm-hmm. It's
So, obviously, I retired, start, taking out a WRS and stuff like that. And that was kind of a big goal for mine to start collecting the pension. And now it's on to, like I told you about the field goal post,
Mm-hmm.
how much is enough? And then you start, oh, that's not enough. I want more. I want more, I want more. So I'm always chasing like the next thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing for me is I got into selling insurance. And I kind of jumped into a deal there that was amazing, I think, in my mind. I inherited a really nice book, and I got to where I get to still provide. I know this is silly. I still get to provide a service to the people of Oconto County. Now I get yelled at in a different way now. I mean, I'm hated differently.
Yeah,
okay?
we talked about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
so you're still hated.
I'm hated differently. I was telling Keith before, I was like, how like the dispatchers have those bingo cards, and like, oh, I got a car deer accident, so they dab it, and they, the winner gets a candy bar or some shit. I don't know.
They do have that?
They do. Yeah.
Really?
Like they get a different, barking dog complaint. They get a, they have a bingo
I didn't
card.
know that.
Well, I mean, what do you do for 12 hours when you're
Right.
sitting in that dungeon, listening to everybody bitch at you on the phone, and then you got to get that call out, Dispatching is like the worst job
Yeah.
ever. It is so hard, and those girls
I
don't
agree.
get enough credit for what they do. They really, really don't. But anyways,
Another plug-in.
so no, I should run for sheriff. Todd, watch out.
You're 34 years of sheriff.
Yeah, are done with. Yeah. But it's kind of like another level of being hated, like we talked about. So I was thinking maybe I should get like a bingo sheet, because I've already been told, you know what, I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to sue this company. I'm like, I don't own the company. I don't own Progressive. Go ahead, sue the shit out of them, man. You want my help? Yeah, why not? Like,
I'll take a cut.
but the moral person, is like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, sir.
Mhm.
What can I do to fix this? And that's, so I'm still fixing people's problems
Right.
for, now it's just not just for $20 an hour, Sometimes it's for free because I'll get these people these quotes and they'll come in, they'll want quotes and stuff like that. And then they bug me like all fucking day for it, right? And I'm like, oh, this is a really good quote. Here it is, and they take it and they leave. I'm like, I worked on that for like 2 hours. Where you go with my work?
Good to know. Yeah.
And then they'll take it and they'll go, hey, can you beat this quote? And I'm like, son of a.
How is it working with Tina?
Oh,
Tina's his wife, by the
yeah.
way.
Well, yeah, my wife, Tina. So,
Because you guys have some experience working together a little bit, right? With
we
the
have
roost?
4 children. Oh,
Well,
yeah,
the
yeah. There's a lot of work done there.
all on you, right? We're always working on you.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Holy shit. I think I have
Whatever.
So she'll be like, hey, well, this is the issue I have with you. I'll fix that issue. But guess what? There's another issue that comes up. I'm like, I just fixed this issue. You come up with another issue. I'm like, this is a never ending thing, isn't it? Right? We're just going to keep working on the issues that I do to you. And then when I fix that, it's something else. I'm like, I can't win. And so I just realized that, this is what life is. This is it, man.
It's a constant
It's a
work.
constant thing. Yeah. But working together, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm get things done. And she's like, hey man, just look, I'll get to it when I get to it. All right. And then it's like, well, and I start short circuiting, and it's like, yeah. So it's been interesting. I think her blood pressure went up since I started working there. And I'm just trying to learn and do better and just do better as a work partner now, instead of just a husband, and just do better and get, better myself so I can tailor those needs. You know what I mean? Working on me.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're supposed to say? Sounds rehearsed.
No, my wife. It's got good things and bad things. We didn't talk this weekend at all. So that was based on last week's rigmarole at the office, and so it was last night we made up. It was nice makeup.
Kudos, Tina.
Yep. Well, it was me, dragging my tail between my legs saying, I got to work on more of myself,
So you caved. You totally caved. You made it 2 days, 3 days.
I was like, that's it. I'm divorcing her. I'm going to get my own house, this and that. But then I realized, oh man, I really like it when she rubs my back at night. Puts me to bed. Like, who am I going to get to do that? It's like $50 an hour or something. It's only costing me like $3,000 an hour right now. I am making more money than I ever have, and I don't think we have any more money. It's nuts. It's nuts. That's I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's we're working together. It's a progress. I gotta learn different things now, because she does a really, really good job. She knows me so well. She does a really, really good job of like calming me down. Especially when there's a customer in there and, like customers like not doing what I want them to do. Or they're asking like too many questions and I'm trying to answer the first one, and and she'll like, hey, why don't you we'll get that out to you guys in a little bit or something like that. She knows when I'm starting to get off doing the Matt Morsy, shoulders roll forward, chin down, eagle eyes. And she knows that's when I start getting to that point, and then she knows how to calm me down and stuff like that. But yeah.
So you guys must have a fair amount of breaks together that she knows how to work with you so that like you as a deputy
coffee break
with your coffee breaks, you figure out how to
it was kind of cool. Like there is times where it's different than work for the a government agency. So I'll like, she'll be in her office and we have a little lobby, and I'll sit in a chair in the lobby and I'll have a cup of coffee, and then we'll just like, all right, what do we need to get done for the rest of the day? Shit like that. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
This last week has been crazy busy. The word's getting out that I'm selling insurance, and I want to help my friends and family and stuff like that. So
now look in the camera and smile.
What's the name of that company?
Oh yeah.
So in case the people out there
is there like a link we can put in the description?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we'll do that too. So, the name is American Advantage Insurance. I work in the Oconto branch, obviously, and we sell home, auto, recreational, commercial, life. So, yeah, it's just you get yelled at, a little bit of hate. I mean, you tell me one person that just, I can't wait to go see my insurance agent and give them all that money for a piece of paper that says I'm covered on something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe covered.
Yeah. Did I get the right coverage? And as we go along, I'm learning more and more about that. And there's some scary stuff going out there. You go to the hospital nowadays for something, or if they airlift you in an accident or something like that, it's like $40,000 for the helicopter ride.
Insurance doesn't cover?
Well, I'm just saying if there's an accident, you're
Right.
and if you were liable for that accident and that person had to get flown out or something like that. So a lot of these people have like what's called 100, 300, 100, which is $100,000 per incident, $300,000 per occurrence, and $100,000 for like property. Okay. And that's like the norm that we do. And then I find out that is not even gonna, if you got in an accident and you were liable, that's not even enough to get any kind of medical coverage nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've been like, this is the lowest we'll go. And so, and I do that not for, obviously people think, you just want more,
Money,
percentage or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, man, because I'm going through it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a letter in the mail. I don't know if I'm covered enough on an incident that happened with my kid, and I was like, son of a gun, it's going to come out of my pocket,
Mm-hmm.
So every time I think I'm doing well, that matrix just puts his thumb down on me.
Like, nope.
Yeah. So no, it's interesting. So I'm learning a lot, and I think it's important for me to segue into like my next thing in my life, and so keep the brain going, learning a lot. Not sitting still, focusing more on my health and stuff like that than I did when I worked I know this is weird, but a lot more than when I worked at the sheriff's office, because, you think you're young and you can handle anything. And then all of a sudden you hit 50 and you're like, oh, okay, the knee's not where it was before. It's weird,
It doesn't bend the same.
Yeah, that's weird, and then so you start thinking like, oh boy, I might have to take off a couple of those bags of donuts, and just kind of,
you gotta invest in yourself, like for sure.
You gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that out too. Like you gotta seriously love yourself like you would love somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and what really got me is like, I sat there for 28 years, and I was always early to work. I was never late, but I always showed up.
Why are you laughing at him?
I was never late to work.
Okay.
I always signed on time. Okay. Full disclosure, I may not have been ready. Okay. If something happens, but I was on,
Okay.
So
no judgment.
Yeah.
You were on a roll. You were talking good, and then your full friend here got a
I
chocolate.
love that guy, man. He keeps me right down where I'm supposed to be,
He's like,
man. I don't know, where were we?
about loving yourself, taking care of yourself.
Oh yeah, you got to love yourself like you love somebody else. Like you got to start showing up for yourself. You like getting back to like showing up to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
You showed up, and you're doing this for other people, and you won't show up for yourself.
True.
What's wrong with you? So you had to look at yourself in the mirror, sometimes, and you got to. Sometimes you just got to sit at the edge of the bed and just say, okay, what do I need to work on here?
Mm-hmm.
What don't I like about myself? And then I guess that's kind of how I'm working it right now. So, focusing a little bit more on my health, and then with this transition, focusing a little bit more on financial too. I'm finding out a lot of things right now. Now that I've got another job and I'm making a salary there, about taxes and like how bad I'm gonna get burned, and health insurance. Like I had health insurance for the last 28 years. Now I got to go shopping for it. Well, I had a little thought in my mind, like how much it was going to cost. And I was like, I can do that. Yeah, this is going to work. But there's a certain threshold that I found out for the subsidies to make it that price. And that threshold is a maximum amount of income that I am going to go over with my family size. And I'm like, I can't win. I was like, so I don't know how. I still got in the works. I meet with my financial advisor tomorrow, and but it seems like healthcare is going to be dip into a little bit bigger cost than I wanted to, but it's because I make more money now, and
Because you have another job.
because I have another job.
You didn't retire.
Oh no, I can't sit still.
Right. No, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
You do some coaching too?
Oh yeah. So I've been I started coaching in 1996. I coached Channel here for 2 years under Dale Hockowitz and
Football or wrestling?
wrestling. And then I started coaching again when I moved to Oconto, and I had been there ever since. I started coaching football like 15 years ago, like a paid position, and I haven't stopped that either. I enjoy it. Like in practice now, I don't do the things I used to do. Obviously, I just walk around and blow a whistle, and
You don't demonstrate?
I can, but it's hard to get up because this knee right here is pretty bad. I actually hurt it 2 weeks ago
Wrestling?
at practice. Yeah.
Oh, I
And,
was gonna say wrestling.
no, not
knee
even
at
wrestling.
Dat training.
I was
When you broke my rib.
You broke his rib.
Yeah, I
He tells that story.
Yeah, well, he thought he could beat me up, and it was.
I stood toe to toe with you for a little while. It was a solid. It felt like a minute. It was probably 10 seconds.
Is there a hidden camera somewhere?
Broke his rib. That's so
I
funny.
remember Matt telling like, okay, full disclosure.
Matt's getting a lot of airtime
I
Yeah, he
wrestled.
is.
for a guy
I-
that doesn't care.
I told him this joke last night, and I'm like, tell me if you remember this, because I wrestled for 2 years, never lost a match. And
Yeah.
I told Cullen and Matt, I told Cullen the story about how I used to pick on Matt, because I know how much he loves wrestling. And I said it was just too easy. I had to play basketball instead.
Mm.
'Cause I never lost. It was too easy.
He's being cocky. It was middle
It's a
school.
joke.
He wrestled probably in
Yeah, I
elementary.
know. I know what
He
his
tells
stats
everyone.
are.
I know. He
okay?
tells everyone. He said it last night at the basketball game. He's like, I never lost a match. And then our friend was like, really?
Yeah, in
I'm like,
gym class.
Yeah. I'm like,
It
stop.
was middle school.
I said it was like middle school, and he
Yeah.
probably wrestled a few girls that weren't.
Well, I don't think.
Very
I don't
good.
know. Maybe I don't know.
Just kidding.
He was the
But-
intergender champion.
But Cullen thought it was funny, and Matt does
It is
remember
funny.
that.
It is funny.
Matt remembers that.
Yeah,
But
I learned so many lessons
So,
from
Matt-
coaching.
Matt was trying to give me pointers as I was wrestling you at that class.
Oh, he's like, hey, don't get your ribs
He's like-
broke.
He's like, no, don't just, spin around him, get behind him, and you got him. And I'm like, do you realize how strong you are?
Yeah,
Tony's, and this was at probably when you were at your biggest. Like you're a big boy at the time.
300.
You're a big boy.
Yeah.
Like, and a big
Probably was
big guy that can
benching
move.
315 or more.
A big guy that can move. That's
Yeah.
tough to handle.
Yeah. That was one thing. I looked like, Kung Fu Panda, I was like, I could move, you never see a guy like that was doing cartwheels and backflips and it's like, holy Christ, that came out of that guy.
Agile.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, I don't know. And that was another thing. When I was working, I thought the bigger I was, the less conflict I would have, more presence or something like that
Mhm.
too. Now I know I got to get all that off now, and try to live a long life, because, well, we all know, if you don't know, the average lifespan of a police officer is probably like 3 years after retirement.
Mhm.
So, it's
Which
important.
is insane because they retire young.
Yeah, it just is the trauma that they don't
Yep.
deal with, and they usually, there's a lot of trauma that they get, they don't deal with it right ways, and it'll kill you, just kill you, and so I'm gonna will myself into my 80s, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna will myself to 80s.
They say that you're supposed to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
collect
Ken.
that pension as long as possible because I earned every penny of it, and I'm gonna make it pay. I'm gonna make it pay, Nicole. I'm gonna make it pay. I told my kids if I, well, actually, I didn't tell them we got a freezer in the basement. Just throw me in there. You know, just collect that pension, you know, keep collecting that pension.
Great idea.
You know, so, but no, interesting stuff. I don't know how long I'll do the insurance thing. The guy that I met with to take this over it was so stupid. I've been married to Tina for 18 years, going to be 19 here. And every year she's paid the insurance, you know, bill. And I said, like, well, I want to put it on my credit card because I want to build up my miles, you know, and just put it on there. We'll pay it up. You know?
What credit card do you have for that?
I have a United credit card
And
that I like. So
when you say miles, like, what do you get? Side note, like,
I have no idea.
oh, you just know that. Okay.
You get something.
It was either that or a Delta card, you know, because flying out of Green Bay.
Yeah.
There's Delta or American.
Okay.
Did I say American? No, United.
United.
United. So anyways, but I wanted to put it on my credit card just to, you know, start building miles. I was like, I'm going to start using this thing more, you know? And so I go in there and I'm, you know, I call it the bebop. I go bebopping in, you know, hello. And I go bebopping in and I'm like, Mary. And that's the lady that will own the place. I'm like, so what's it take to be an insurance agent nowadays, you know? And she's like, oh, why, Tony? Are you interested? I was like, well, I didn't know you were going to follow up with that, but yeah, maybe, you know, it's like.
So it started off as a joke?
Yeah. Yeah, completely. And so she's like, well, you know, this is, you know, they're looking for somebody to take over this office up here. When I say somebody, the people that are buying her book and stuff like that.
When you're saying buying your book, you mean like her clients?
Her business.
Her, like all of her people?
Book of business. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like handing over a business.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
100%. And it's then there's that pressure too, just by the way, you know. Like,
right. Well, they did it this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I got a box of chocolates on Christmas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool. Gotta remember that one.
Our insurance guy gave us a nice box of cheese this year.
Cheese, yeah.
Oh man, I'll get there someday.
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah.
We got Saruji's bars, you know.
Those are good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take that.
Yeah. But so then, you know, she's like, oh, this, you know, they're looking for somebody that knows the people up here and this and that. I'm thinking, yeah, fuck, this would be a really good way of, you know, I just thought, and it's probably my fault too. I just thought, well, I'll just sit back, you know, smoke cigars and sell, you know, people their policies that, you know, they, you know, they want them, you know, and like, it's not that way at all.
I imagine it's really hard.
Yeah.
You were telling me a little bit, which we shouldn't have talked before because now we have this, it feels like an old story, but the listener's not. But the testing is insane.
Oh, yes. So she asked me, she's like, what does it take to be an insurance agent?
And I don't want to sell insurance. I wasn't asking.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, so getting back to how I got into it, I end up, you know, meeting the people that are, you know, going to take over this and stuff like that. And he's 80 some years old. I liked the guy. I really, really liked him. I was like, I'm telling myself, and I said to myself, I said, I don't give a crap how hard this is or how it's going to be. You know, I want to work with this guy. You ever just have somebody pull you into something? And they didn't say anything flashy or tell me that, oh, you're going to be rich or this and that. None of that stuff. They were just
like, I want to be this guy.
I like the way he, you know, he's just like, okay, this is what, and he's so calm. He's like, all right, this is what I can do for you. This and that. You're going to be taken care of here. You know, I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know, feels good. Let's do it. You know? So then I had to go get licensed to do this. So the next step was I had to go to Madison. I had to go to a class down there for a week. So me and Tina went and did that. And then you took the class and you passed the class. Then you get to take us a test. And it was just weird because they gave us this big booklet like this. And we had to go through everything. Like the lady went for 5 days. 5 days. We went through this book. And so it's like opening up a fire hydrant and put your mouth over to take a drink. Okay. Of the information coming in. So she's like, highlight everything we talk about. I'm like, all right. So I'm on my third highlighter on day 3. Okay. I'm highlighting everything. Right. And I'm just going through. And then finally I'm like, all right. So I stopped her. I said, hey, you told me to highlight everything we talked about. And you said that was going to be in a test. So everything I highlighted in here is going to be in a test. She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I can't do this. She's like, people do it. I'm like, because it was just like everything that we talked about, the whole book was highlighted. And she wasn't wrong because everything was, there was like 4 different tests that you take and something about everything was on one of those tests. So
it's hard testing.
it's very hard. Yeah. I told you, I never studied
I've
before
never
in high
looked-
school. I never studied in college. I never did that at all. I never studied. I studied every night after work for about an hour and a half. I'd study for like 8 hours. I take off of work and I'd study for 8 hours before I took the exam. And and it was weird. We went in there. I had to go to UW Stevens Point to go take the exams. So I took the property and the casualty together, which people say you shouldn't do that because they are really hard. And I'm like, wow, I know everything. I memorized it all, so I knew it. So I went there and I took the test, and all the language that was coming out was different. It wasn't like what I had memorized,
Yep.
And they just worded it different and threw me off. And I failed. I told Nicole this. I failed the first exam, and I left there just so defeated. And they don't tell you the scores; they just tell you if you pass or fail, And then I was going to go take the casualty test right after that, and she's like, you got till 1 o'clock if you want to, I'm like, I need time. I was so devastated. I was so upset about not getting it that I went out to the commons area, popped open my laptop, went over the stuff, and I just thought about how they would ask for the next exam. And then the next exam,
they like kind of like
like the
for
state
law enforcement,
the state
test,
exam for the
they
law enforcement.
like twist words.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like the way they ask.
I knew
and trick you.
it. So then I passed the casualty. I put my mind frame right. Well, then they send you an email what the score was. I missed it by one question, Keith. I was so mad because it was $75 per test too. You got to pay to take these exams.
They checked. They like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it's really weird. You go there and they like, okay, put all your belongings besides, I forgot, was like if you can have your watch or something like that. No, you couldn't even have your watch because it was a smart watch or something like that. You couldn't even have your watch. You had to take all your jewelry off, everything, and you had to put it in a secure bag. And then you had to, they wanded you down. What
are they looking for?
Check behind your ears and in your collar and stuff like
Your
that.
glasses.
Yeah, my glasses.
Are you sure this wasn't at a jail?
I swear to take an insurance exam, guys. I was like, holy man, this is important stuff, So, I go in there and then, like I said, when I failed, I was very devastated. When I passed the other one, I was still off at myself, And I got on the way home from there. I was on the phone with my brother telling him how mad I was and stuff like that. He's like, oh, you'll get it. I'm like, well, I know I will. I'm confident that I will, but it should have happened here,
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and I had to go to Oshkosh this time to take the other exam. Same thing, man. But this lady was kind of mean to me though too. So, and so I
It's like
get
TSA.
it, and they put you in these like little cubicles, and yeah, and they put these little cubicles, and they got cameras all over you and stuff like that. And then they don't want you to like even. I guess you can't cheat,
You can't cheer after when you're done either silently.
Oh yeah, so you have to wear these headphones, and I opted to wear the headphones so they read the question to you because I can do better that way. And so I'm done. I'm waiting, and it said passed, and I was like, I'm like, just like this. I'm not yelling or anything. I'm just like
silent cheering.
This lady comes in the room. She's like, you need to be quiet. These people are taking a test. I'm like, well, you were louder than I was. And she's like, you won't be allowed back in here. I said, it doesn't matter. You said, you won't see me again. I said, I just passed. She's like, well, congratulations.
Jeez. Fun record.
So then, you get your license and then, you're good to go, So it's kind of like when I started in law enforcement, where, I rode along with an officer for like a half a day. And then we went to a couple coffee shops. And then this is my first part-time job, by the way, for a police officer. Went to a couple of coffee shops. I don't know if I want to say it. Yeah, Oconto. And it was old school back then. And I went to a couple of coffee shops and whatever, and we pulled over one car, and the guy yelled at the person for speeding or whatever they did. And he comes back and he goes like, all right, there's a word of advice, young man. He says, if you're going to give him a ticket, you don't yell at him. But if you're not going to give him a ticket, then you can go ahead and yell at him. I can handle those calls. Like, somebody calls, he was the chief and he was telling me that I can handle those calls. If you yell at somebody and if I ask him, well, did he get a ticket? And if he said no, then you shouldn't be yelling. You shouldn't be calling and complaining, stuff like that you'll say, Like,
What year was this?
2002 or 3. So
It's pretty solid advice.
yeah, so I'm like, all right, that's good advice. And then he handed me a statute book, a badge, and a gun. He's like, all right, don't shoot anybody. I'm like, okay. What am I doing with this then? It's like, it went off in the office too. And I was like, oh, that's not a good start. No, I didn't.
Oh.
That only happens in Oconto
That only
Falls.
happens in the,
That happened in Oconto Falls.
yeah,
didn't
I might have. I don't know. I
That
don't
was
think
before my time.
Yeah.
it was in the file drawer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There a bullet?
Yeah. But, so then you ever have your story about your first traffic stop or anything like that?
No, but let's hear it.
Yeah.
You want to hear mine? Oh, this
Uh-huh.
is a great story. So
I have a funny one. It's not about me, but my first OWI was
That you got?
a very funny story. No, not that I got.
Please pick me up. Well, I can pull you down from the tree. I don't know if I can pick you up from the tree.
Okay, tell your story.
Okay. So
I don't want
first shift all by myself, and I pull over a car, and the way I thought, it had a headlight out and it was kind of a crappy car. It looked like a rust bucket, and I'm like, well, you know what? Joe Verbiggy. Remember him? You remember Joe Verbiggy?
He just passed away.
Yep. He used to tell me if there's a car, it's a person. He goes.
Hey.
And I'm thinking,
As he's smoking.
well, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, well, did you see the piece of that I wrote up?
Same. Yeah,
my Chevy Citation that had no floor in it yet.
I had a Cavalier.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so I pull the car over because I'm thinking of all the instincts, all these old timers told me and stuff like that. I pull the car over and I'm nervous as shit. I'm walking up to the window and here's this lady that I must have been like a first time mother or something like that. Her hair was like all wet and she must have just got, and she looked like she was just frazzled, like she was up all night. And this is before meth. So, and
Before that all
so I
craze.
went from like, okay, I'm not looking to, get any further with it. Now I'm helping, what I mean? So I asked her where she was going. She's like, I'm going to Taco Bell. They had a Taco Bell in Oconto at the time. I'm like, okay. And so the lights out, and you got to get that fixed. She's like, okay, I will. I go, well, sometimes I said, if you just like, give it a little knock or something like that, it goes on. So I just took my foot and I put it like on the fender, the front fender, and my foot went right through the fender. And I'm like, oh, I pull it out. And then I'm like, hey, you know what, ma'am? You have a good day. And I go, and I'm like John Candy from like, hey, park's closed. The moose should have told you up front. It's like, that's how I felt. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, I just made an ass out of myself. And I get back in my car and I get back in my car and I'm just thinking like, what the hell am I doing? Why would you do that, Tony? Why? Just like, all I want to do is help her, and I was like, I just did it. I just made it worse. And like, hey, yeah, but please don't call the chief. I just kick your car in.
That's so funny.
That was my first traffic stop. Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah. I don't know who that girl is, but I'm very sorry that I dented I put my foot through your rusty bucket there. You probably were not a person either. So sorry.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah. Me and Keith had some great stories too.
Do you remember I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just going to say the line and I want you to tell me who it was. Okay. Anonymous complaint, anonymous cop.
Roy Olson?
No, that was before my time too.
The person said this, if it's in it.
You don't remember?
Oh, no. Okay, I know what you're saying. Oh, God. Because I had somebody call in that I was speeding anonymously, a cop, and it happened to be an ex-deputy named Roy Olson that got fired. It was pissed off probably, whatever. That's what I thought you were saying. But I know I don't know who said that.
He might have been.
Can I say Mike Hebert?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Mike Hebert. There's a guy, Nicole, that you would have loved.
Oh, he was the best.
He was
the
an
best.
old Vietnam vet. Okay. Just like seemed like every ounce of energy was squeezed out of him, right? Just like it was wrung out of him. He just looked like a weathered like piece of board or something that had eyeballs and a nose. It was terrible.
Sounds like my type.
Oh God. Yeah. That Morsy type. Yeah. So yeah, he was, oh my God, he was just like, he didn't say much, but when he did, you listened.
It was a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Whatever
He
he
didn't say
said
much,
was
so-
like, you could repeat that for years.
Yeah. So I'll never forget this. We used to have to meet 7 in the morning and 7 at night because we used to flip.
I hope this is the same story that
So
I
we
have.
used to flip, we used to work 2 weeks of nights and then 2 weeks of days because we were, we're dumb.
Mhm.
And so we used to do that, right? So always on the 7s, you had to meet him in the restaurant, kind of like, because the old guys want to know how your day is, or
Mhm.
how's things going with you. So we meet and it was kind of snowing, just started snowing, and we meet and I sit down at the diner and
the Chestnut Station.
the Chestnut Station there. And I always ordered eggs and toast or oatmeal sometimes, but 2 eggs and toast
And coffee.
and a coffee. And I'd wait for it to come and I always turn my plate and I'd put a smiley face on that and just show Hebert, cause he was salty all the time. See, life is good. Life is good. I would go and he's like, shut up, or something. I don't know what he said. But then I got a call of a vehicle in the ditch and it was just outside of Oconto Falls. And it just like, they just went in the ditch and they said, they got a record come in, no injuries, no whatever. I'm like, oh, so I get up real quick and he goes, sit down. I'm like, what? He goes, they're dumb in the ditch. They can wait till you after you're done with breakfast to go save them. He goes, and he would always tell me, he goes, he'd be in a restaurant and you see a car go by, it looks like speeding. He's like, oh, I wonder how Scarbin can sleep at night when that car went by speeding. Because Scarbin used to run on a radio at night.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's sort of the same story, but a little different.
Okay.
So at the time, that's actually one of my first memories of you. What's your first memory of me? I'm going to ask you that.
It's probably nothing you want to talk about. It's about like the first memory of that I remember, that always sticks with me is when that kid drowned in Oconto Falls. And I saw you driving. You were just started.
Yeah, I was still on FTO.
Yeah, you just started and I saw you driving by and I can see the worried look in your eye as you were driving by.
That's sad.
So like that's the
That was
first
tough.
memory that I have of you, like getting stung by the bee type of things.
Mhm.
Probably the reason why that pops up.
The empath in you, a little.
Well,
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember going to the Chestnut. So, but that was also
some doofy looking guy bebopping in, right? Hey guys, park's closed.
so fast forward, I was on my own. I was off field training on my own. I would work primarily, I'd fill shifts. I was part-time. I'd either fill shifts or I'd work a power shift.
Yeah.
So 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. It was like, and I worked a ton of them.
Yeah.
But I would get there early, like a good, 21-year-old gonna light the world on fire cop
Yep.
would. Like, yeah, I love my job. So I'd show up 20 minutes early. So I get there at 6:40, 6:45-ish, right? If it was 7:01, I'd sign on early. I felt so guilty for this at the time. 7:01, Hebert would be on the radio. My badge number at the time was 768. It was 768. I'm like, I'm scared to answer even.
Yeah. He was
like-
one of those
And
guys.
then it'll be like, do you got a watch? Do you know what time it is?
You would say it over the radio
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, why aren't you at the, I felt so guilty
because
signing on, getting in my squad and literally driving across the street to the Chestnut to get coffee with.
So he wasn't
Hebert.
mad that you were late. It was just that you weren't at the.
I wasn't there yet.
Yeah. He was
I wasn't
there.
at the
So don't you
Chestnut
just
for
love
break.
that?
7
though?
and 7. You had to be there.
7 o'clock. Yeah.
No matter where you started from in the county. He never was a supervisor, but
He said
he was the guy.
He was like the godfather of
We're-
the shift.
we'd be, and he would, the lieutenant was there too. I think it was Zahn, his lieutenant.
Yeah, Zahn was his lieutenant.
So we'd be sitting there, and then this is before computers. This is when we hand wrote tickets and accident reports, and everything went out over the radio. And he got called to an anonymous barking dog complaint in like Swamico. He always worked the South End.
Yep.
So he'd like in Swamico, and we're all at the Chestnut having coffee, and he'd say on the radio, anonymous complaint, anonymous cop, and he would never go. Like it was like some call, like whatever. Oh, it's so funny.
I arrested a guy. I thought it was the coolest thing.
The cojones on this guy to say that to his lieutenant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You didn't care.
Over the radio.
You could just try to think about like how many, lives he impacted in Vietnam. You know what I mean? And you're like, I am not messing with this guy.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
When he passed away, that bugged me.
Yeah, it's sad.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, it seems to be a sad thing that happens to cops a lot. And I don't want to bring the podcast down, but we just had a dear friend of ours, Mike Rayberg, Connell chief, that passed away.
Yeah.
How old was he? Young.
Yeah, 57, 59. I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if the viewers or listeners know actually how young cops can be when they retire. They can retire at 55.
50.
50.
I'm 50.
50.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So when you say pass away 3 years after retirement,
Yeah, that's basically
That's
he was
very
like 2
young.
years.
it's very, and it's very
Yeah,
common.
yeah.
So like, I don't think people realize that when you're like, no, cops retire young. So when
Yeah.
they're dying like that, that's
sad.
it's
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it could also be something with kind of what we were talking about before, that when you have a health, whatever you're doing is great for your mental state
Yeah.
and everything, that it's kind of an identity crisis. Like, who am I if I'm not a cop? A
Oh.
lot of cops go through that.
I'm telling you, it's the more I talked about it, and the more stuff shows up in your feed,
Yep.
for Facebook and stuff. And I start seeing these reels about other officers talking about how you retire and there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was kind of weird. I'm not trying to bag on anybody or anything like that, because I do love all the guys I worked with, and they should know this. But it's like you're waiting for them to reach out, and they don't.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
And I never did either.
Mhm.
So it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm mad at you guys because of this, but I
Yeah.
never did. But it's like, boy, you should,
Mhm.
and not for me, because
Mhm.
believe me, I'm already blazing a different trail,
Mhm.
And
But that's
Same kind of goes for, like, if you, I worked in Oconto Falls for 20 years almost,
yeah,
and I left, for the community here, and I don't talk to a whole lot of people from.
yeah, it's a different
It's
world.
sad.
It's
Like,
different.
it's sort of sad.
and
Like, in a
I've
sense.
seen that, and Tony and I talked a little bit about it, but like Jody being a good friend of mine, and she had a hard time with that, with retiring. Like, it's just like silent, like you said, like it's such the
You're talking
morale.
about Jody Johnson.
Yep, your crush.
I told her what you told me one time.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like-
I used to ride along with her when I was in high school.
He's like,
She's still pretty.
I
She's
had
still-
a crush on her since 1994.
Yeah. Yes.
Jody was like
Yeah,
the
she-
first
yeah.
female cop at Shawano
Yes,
PD, and
yep.
she was everyone's mom. She was like,
Well, it was weird because her ex-husband worked there too.
Yep.
And that was weird because you could,
But she said they worked okay together.
well, that's probably her putting some, butter on the bread, I guess. I don't know. I
Remember it differently?
I don't remember anything. I never saw anything or whatever. So, but I just heard other people talking about it because I would ride with other people, and I was always curious. I'm like, well, that's got to be weird,
Well, because you have this crush on her, so you're like,
yeah, it's like, what's the deal with her anyways? Is she into, young kids? No,
Jody's gonna love this.
no, I never thought like that, but I always thought she was, obviously she was cute, and
Yeah.
she had a gun and a badge, and she was cool, and
Mhm.
and she's like, oh, she was always a little bubbly, and
Yep,
she was a good person. She was.
she is.
Yeah.
She's all of our kids' godmother.
Yeah, she's a
Yep.
good person. Yeah. And her husband,
Mike.
no,
Oh, the other one.
Don. Man, he was tough. He was like a Matt Morsy.
Really?
Yeah, he was a tough guy. And I think he went to Rhinelander, and I never heard from him again, but we weren't like close anyways, but it was just like, I know he moved to Rhinelander. I didn't hear much more of him. So I think he was a police officer up there or something. So, yeah.
But Jody did mention that she had a hard time after retirement, but we should get Mike Saucy on here because I was telling, what's her name?
My name?
Tony.
Yeah. Bag of donuts.
You just had a blank.
Tony Bag of
My
Donuts.
name is Tony Bag of Donuts.
I was telling Tony about Saucy's program he's starting for retired cops because it's an issue.
I told him that. Yeah, that's great. That'd be a great resource, I think.
It would be.
And the more that so probably about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I started calling the guys that I grew up with, like Glenn Soul, Randy Van Hooley, Tom Shallow, some of the old retired guys that, that it really helped me out in my career. And I really enjoyed being around those guys. So I'd call them and I started playing cards with them. And just not for, we just whorebag each other just like we used to and stuff like that. And
what did you do?
You whorebag? How's that? I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. It's just like maybe you give them so but you catch up on their lives, and they like that, So I've started this and it's kind of grown a little bit. We John Reed, the former fire chief, he's playing with us here and there. Kevin Schneider just retired, and he was a state patrol officer, and then he worked in Suring forever. I got him on the phone and invited him to the next card game. We're having one next month here, but it's just like how you do that, how you're reaching out and you're trying to do things and stuff like that. I just reached out to Darren Laskowski, who retired.
Yeah. How's he doing?
I don't know. I'll find out. I reached out to him and tell him, we gotta get together, have a beer, and just stuff like that. Because I'm like, you know what? I never did that. And I didn't realize what I was doing with the other guys playing cards, that I was actually doing that, like kind of like what Saucy's trying to implement and stuff like that. But I'm doing it in my own little world, making sure that, that, hey, you guys are getting checked in on, and there's other guys out there too that, I would love to have them, if you're retired and you want to play cards, and talk, this is,
Whorebag. What'd you say? Whorebag?
Whorebag.
I'm going to totally use that.
Yeah, dude, do you ever have, we should look that up. Like can
you look that up?
It's like a slang term, slang.
It's probably not appropriate, but
it's a bag of
horses.
Yeah. But no, so I don't know. Transitioning from, there's guys that are out there that it's all about, that star on their chest or that shield on their chest. And they can't get over that, So a lot of times, and this is not just law enforcement, by the way, this is other things. People can't get over being, supervisor Phil from, the such and such work and
right.
or whatever. And they have that thing in their life. And, it's so, I made sure that I got a bunch of hobbies in me before I even, so that's why coaching was so important in my life. Because that's a different outlet, a different sense of responsibility, and something I can progress. Because the secret to life, you guys want to hear it? If you're not progressing, you're not happy. That's it. You have to progress in life.
I like that.
Yeah. As soon as you stay stagnant, that's when things happen. You know what I mean? You have to progress. So no matter what it is, whether it's law enforcement or insurance, you have to progress and you have to keep going in life. So when this insurance gig gets done with me, which I don't, or I get done with it, whatever happens there, I'm going to be on to the next thing. I guarantee it. We might start up the cookie business again.
You could literally sell anything. You could do sales. I would buy anything from you. I'd buy coffee from you.
My wife has a big problem selling insurance. Okay. So she thinks that it's really hard for her moral compass. We talk about, it's hard for her to see all these, these zeros and whatever for this and this and this, so that you're possibly covered or this or that. And she'd rather sell you something,
like cookies,
tangible,
tangible, cookies or something like that, where she can put her emotion and her heart into it. And
Side note, she was a very good cookie maker.
Oh, she's the best.
Beautiful.
She's
cookies.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody in this area that is even close to her.
She's amazing.
You go ahead, show me. I'll show you twice as better. You know?
Oh yeah.
So anyways, probably, take that up again or whatever it may be. She was great with that. We'll do that. What was I saying before?
How are you going to progress?
Do
on to the
something
next
else.
thing.
Yeah. So, that could be the next thing, or it could be, I decided to take on some youth program or something like that. Right now I'm the president of the Oconto Wrestling Club, been that for a while, established a board once I first started. And we are probably the best club in Oconto. I'm not doing a Todd Scarbin here. I'm telling you right now, the girls, the ladies that we have that work in this club, and they're all part of it. It's all part of who we are. And they just do such a good job. I've never seen the amount of stuff that we can do with our wrestling club as we did now. We just bought a brand new practice mat to put on top of the other practice mat. We didn't even ask the school for money, nothing like that. Well, maybe we did. They didn't give us any, but I always ask. So we did that. We fully clothe all the kids. We pay for like 3 tournaments for them. And we just do that all on our fundraising. And it's amazing because I got a team of people that got all kinds of great ideas and they bring them to the table and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking like, boy, you know how cool this would be if we had like, say, I could do this for another club or something like that, and like, just cause we just got it going, man. I don't even need to be there.
That's awesome.
There's so many people that take leadership roles in this thing. It's just amazing. We have, shout out to Bobby. She's the best, secretary. No, that's Rebecca. Rebecca's the secretary. Bobby's a treasurer. You want to be friends with Bobby. Okay. She's the treasurer. You're coming home from a wrestling tournament or something like that. Hey, Bobby, think we can pick up some pizza for the boys in the van or the bus? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. Like, okay. So, make the club buy it for us, for the kids. And she's like, yeah, go ahead or something like that. But, no, it's great. You got to have avenues. You got to be progressing, and it's with your health, your wellness, your relationships. You guys know this. You guys have been around a long time. That you stay stagnant in something, all of a sudden it's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
You don't progress.
Lose that drive.
You lose something.
Mm-hmm.
Could be lose your health.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can lose your love. You can lose your finance. If you don't progress, you're not going to be happy. Things won't make you happy. You can buy a brand new Corvette and that'll make you happy for a little bit, but after that novelty wears off, or a new relationship, that'll make you happy for a little bit. But once that novelty wears off, then you're back to the same thing. If you don't progress, if you're not doing something to progress, you're not going to achieve happiness or even get close to it. So, but that's where I'm at right now in my life. And I want to thank all the people that got me here. There's, I have a lot of friends, family, just getting to this point where I can look back at my life and say, you know what, a pretty good life. Wasn't bad, feel good about it. But that doesn't mean I'm stopping, like I said, I'm going to burn it till I'm 80, then we'll see what happens. I want to be like the guy I'm working for right now. That's 82 years old and puts 40 hours a week in the office,
That's probably why he's still healthy and
100%.
Yep,
Yeah.
'cause he's still going. So when you stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything Cammie wants to ask?
Cammie's good at being an outsider looking in and.
Okay. One question, but I don't. Yeah.
Just ask it.
Is there like 2 or 3 questions that people should ask an insurance agent when they're shopping for
Ooh.
insurance? Like, what advice would you give to people who are shopping around?
Well, you're going to get it. And I'm kind of seeing this right now because people come to me and they bring a quote in, right? And what happens is people bring these quotes in, but they don't like run them on their MVR reports, which is a motor vehicle report, which tells you like, okay, this person, or a credit report. So this person, has all these accidents or they got bad credit and stuff like that. It all affects on what they're going to get for a premium, and or what they're going to get for their policy. How much it's going to cost. So, that's one thing, if you're going in knowing that, you be upfront with the insurance agent and say, hey, look, I got all these things going on. I'm like, okay, then we'll run you and we'll see what we can do. I've had, it's been crazy right now because kind of word's getting out that I'm selling insurance and stuff like that. So, I like I said, when I say I left on good terms, I left on good terms with everybody, like, you know, in the community. And, I think I got a list of haters that probably hate me, you know, one wrong finger, but you know, one, you know, but,
that's impressive for a lifelong.
Yeah. Well, no, I always treat everybody fair, no matter who you were. I didn't care if you were the CEO or the janitor. It didn't matter to me. Cause you know, everybody's got to get the fair chance in my book. And you know, if you didn't think you got a fair shot with me, then, well, I'm sorry, but I gave you probably every opportunity to be fair, you know? So, that's just the way I worked in my life. And even with, you know, like coaching and stuff like that, I'm always fair. My kids never got anything more than what they deserved, or what they worked for, you know? And, that's how I coach, you know? So, but, another thing, like, what insurance agent you want to ask them, you know, I just want to ask, you can ask about the companies that, you know, like I say, if I put you with this company, well, what about this company? Ask me about the company. I do have that information, you know? I don't know. The only reason, Cammy, the only reason why I got into this, and I was telling Keith this earlier, is that, you know, like I said, my wife, you know, she doesn't like the way that it's presented. You know, she doesn't like that.
What doesn't she like about it?
It's like you're like selling a piece of paper.
Yeah. She doesn't have anything visible to sell them. I'm selling you this.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah. And nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, we're coming in, we're going to have fun. And we're going to, you know, my wife is an instructor. She teaches Zumba. She
does?
Yes. She was a fitness instructor.
She's artsy.
She's never had a job where she's actually worked, well, maybe like once or twice, a little bit here and there, but she's never really had a job where she worked for somebody else. She always worked for herself.
Well, good for her.
She had
I
a
like
restaurant
that.
for 10 years.
We should have her on. What are you doing here?
Oh, I don't think you have enough bleeps for her. She had a restaurant for 10 years, and then she did her cookie business. She sold 31. She did all that stuff, you know, like whatever, you know, so, and everything she'd touched, she was very successful with. So she's good. She's really good at what she does. And so that's part of it too. And then, you know, but I told her, I said, Tina, she's like, I just don't know, Tony. I said, Tina, I said, think about this. We can make it better. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, they put Joe Schmo in here and he's just going to fire out policies. He's not going to give a about these people, you know, just like whatever's can, you know, pad the company or make me look good or whatever it may be, or how he wants to look at finances or whatever. I have an opportunity to continue to help the citizens of Oconto County or Oconto, Brad for Shano, Todd for Oconto, you know, you know, still contribute and, you know, and help people. It makes me feel so good. And I'm not kidding you guys. It makes me feel so good when I help somebody out. I'll give you an example. We have a guy, in our town, and, he's just a great guy in our community. You know, those little can receptacle places I usually see at like a grocery store, you can throw bags of cans over or whatever. So he has that in Oconto, and he gives the St. Jude's Hospital or MS or military or whatever he feels like giving to that year or whatever they're doing that year he gives. And he cut us in on it because we manage it for him now. You know, so he cut us in on it for our wrestling club. So we split the wrestling club and St. Jude's or MS or whatever it may be for, you know, but we do all the canning and help him out with it and stuff like that. And he came in, you know, he's retired now. He, you know, whatever their salary is, it's not my business or whatever. But, you know, when Tina was able to save them like $700, I know this sounds like a commercial. When Tina was able to save them like $700 on their car insurance, man, their faces lit up and it was great. Problem is, got in an accident, hit a deer, and there's so much technology that you need to use, you know? So I'm like, well, I like him. He's a good person. We have to help him. So I would go to his house. I would take all the pictures of his car and send it to the insurance agent and do an insurance company, the adjusters and the underwriters and stuff like that to make sure that, you know, this guy gets his stuff done. And that to me was like, okay, I can still do this.
That little extra that you can bring to the table.
And I don't, you know, we're not going to be the biggest. I'm never going to be the biggest, but I'm going to be the best. Okay. I'm going to give you everything. That's how I look at it. So when I blaze a trail, I'm blazing it. And that's why I told Tina, I was like, I know this frustrates you. I said, but if we don't do this, somebody else will. So why not make it better?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's a good point.
You know?
Making insurance great again.
Yeah.
Wait, bleep that out. I might get some hate. But I mean,
yeah,
kinda.
no, well, I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's probably the same way you guys, run this, I love watching your videos. I love watching all the commercials you guys make. It's amazing. Whatever you guys are doing with her, it's worth it. Cause it's fun to watch. It really is. And I feel, I don't want to say I'm envious or jealous of you guys, but I feel like you guys just come here and have a great time. I'm like,
it is pretty fun.
Man.
And Cammie's great. Like she's so easy.
Patient with us
and does wonderful production work to make us look good. Like you're probably going to look pretty.
Yeah, you're going to look so pretty.
Yeah. I got a black spot right here. Can you get rid of that? I don't know what that is.
Probably your Morsy days.
Yeah,
right?
no kidding. Yeah.
We're definitely going to have you on again because I feel like we could go hours with him.
Oh, are we wrapping up?
Oh no, I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to. I mean, you can stay longer. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know what the protocol is here. Well, how long do you how long do you guys usually go?
Usually like an hour or so.
Well, I thought, I was watching her look at her phone. I thought, and obviously you're doing your stuff with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe she was checking the time and like, we got to hurry up or whatever. And,
no, I'm just, I mean,
No. I just keep a track on the camera that I can't.
No, I'm saying you're we would want you back because there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of stories.
There's so much we can talk about. We can talk about the days where we were in Appleton one time and I won't talk about that.
I know that story. I know that story.
We can talk about that. That was a good time.
That was a great story, but we're not going to talk about it.
I know that story.
Hey, so do you guys just go 1 hour straight?
Just relive in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I lost my keys.
Did you break something?
Oh, my ankle, probably. I don't know. I was so happy to get my keys from the police station the next day that I fell in a pothole. I should have sued the goddamn city. I fell in a pothole, twisted my ankle, and I had to go back to class. It was a 4-day instructor development class. And I had sitting there, my ankle is this swollen. He's like, "You want to go home?" I said, "No, I want my certificate, so I'm going to stay." I had to wait forever to get here. Nothing was ever easy for me at the sheriff's office. I swear, nothing was ever easy.
That was such a fun time, though.
I was always like a bull in a china shop, man.
Do you remember? Do you remember? This is how much I like you. I felt so bad when you came in and all the guys were giving you a hard time about your keys and that they couldn't find them. They didn't find them.
Yeah.
And you were like, I mean, you were physically ill.
Yeah.
You were
like my face probably turned white.
What kind of keys were these?
Keys to the county, pretty much.
Like jail?
Well, not the jail key, but doors to get in and out of, probably secured areas and that you weren't supposed to go into or whatever.
And where were they left?
In my jacket pocket. In my jacket pocket.
So when you came in and there was a couple Appleton PD guys that were there and they were like, yeah, they checked. They couldn't find the keys. You were like, he looked so sick.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get.
And everybody's giving him a hard time. And I couldn't hold it back. Do you remember that I was the one that told you?
Yeah, you started laughing a little bit. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm thinking to myself. And then you told me, I'm like, oh.
I couldn't let him sweat it out any longer.
It was hard.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, it was hard. I'm not going to lie. I get emotional over things like that.
It's just it's pretty major. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out okay, I'm pretty sure I spent the corporate credit card last night appropriately too, probably. I don't know. No, I didn't. But why is there a 12-pack of beer on the credit card?
We had our daughter that we gave her the milk card to pick up milk or something.
Yeah.
And she went and bought booze.
Oh.
She was only 18 at this time. 19. Went and bought booze with it. We saw charges of.
Yeah.
We're not going to say what gas station. We don't want to out the gas station.
What a dumb kid.
She's like, Journey.
How are you this dumb?
Yeah,
she's like, what? What'd you buy? I had to buy alcohol. He's like, wait, why are you? First off, who are you buying alcohol from? Where are you?
I'm like, there's no way that because she had a little car that looks like it farts.
Yeah.
It would look like a roller skate.
Yeah.
And I know it doesn't take that much to fill that up.
She said, yeah, that was her first.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, I
okay.
got
I'm like,
gas.
there's no
Oh.
way. You would have had to got gas 2.5 times.
Yeah.
Sawyer was so
Would you-
mad at her for outing their source.
10 gallons, you get a free hot dog. Just pouring it in the garbage can.
I think that was. I think I bought cigarettes off somebody was it in the street or was it at a bar?
What, you talking about the Appleton thing?
Yeah. I brought pizza.
I don't remember. You can't. You
I
left.
remember I brought
We were
pizzas.
all over the place. You left.
I brought pizzas into a bar and the bouncer was like, "You can't bring that in here." And I'm like, "It'll be gone in 3 minutes." I just handed out pizza.
Yeah.
To everybody, you remember that?
I just remember. I don't know. I was at the bar and I turned around. And here comes Keith with a piece of pizza and a cigarette hanging out his mouth. He's like, "Hey, I got pizza." I'm like, well, let's have a piece.
Keith doesn't smoke.
It's a good time.
It was a great time. Yeah,
Oh.
it was
Ben
Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Stayed
fun.
with us.
Yeah, he was fun.
It was
Yep.
fun.
Too many stories to talk about like that. I got kids.
And your youngest is Cubby's age, like 15, right?
Yeah, I got 2 older boys and 2 younger daughters. My oldest is he'll be 23 in March. My youngest boy is 18. My oldest daughter is 16, and my youngest daughter is 15.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time in our lives right now. I'm trying to keep up with them. I got up at 5:00 this morning. Just to take my daughter to the school to go hit, softballs and stuff like that before she has to go her lifting class and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So been doing that quite a bit and spending time with her. Like she does club softball. So I take her. And so we jump in the car and, I'll take her halfway across the state and we stay together. So it's kind of like a little bonding moment there.
Mhm. Good for you.
I had my moments with the boys,
Mhm.
I coached them. So I got to stay with them, do the coaching thing, and AJ, it seems like we talked about, you said, well, what does he want to do when he gets older? And it's whatever I'm doing, He's like, I was going to be a truck driver. And he's like, oh, I want to be a truck driver, and I was, I'm going to sell insurance. I'm like, all right. So it's whatever.
Take over the family biz.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
just
he
were
said.
talking about
He
that.
just said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm in a really cool place in my life, you guys. It's been fun, and it's just trying to navigate like where we're gonna go with this healthcare stuff and stuff like that. Like I said, that's gonna be a big problem for me because, I had a like I said, like a thought in my mind with how much we're gonna pay based on our family and size and stuff like that. But there's a threshold for the subsidies that you get a break on. And it's a financial threshold. And boy, I'm really happy that I'm, making a little bit more money, but now I got to pay for my own insurance. It puts me right back down to where I was.
Right.
So I was like, but whatever, we'll get it done. I'm not worried about it. It's, I think, and like you said, you don't know if there's like some divine intervention or divine spirit or something like that, that's overseeing over us. That's, making sure that, we're not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing or whatever it is. But I just think we're supposed to be in a certain place in our lives at that certain time. Mm-hmm. Just think about what had to happen just to have us sitting here right now.
mm-hmm.
The rescheduling
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And, stuff just for us to be here right now, how everything had to fall in place the way it did. It's weird,
Mm-hmm.
So I just think we're all part of something, and I don't know what that is, but
It's bigger than us.
Yeah.
I think we're all part of the same thing. I think we're all part of like, if you ever just take a look like how the universe works, or how even our galaxy or whatever our solar system works, how the sun just pulls us. We think we go around the sun. We don't. The sun's going like a ape somewhere this way, and we're just planets falling around them like this. The sun's going, and we're just planets like 20,000 miles an hour, just following the sun around.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all derived from like the dust off of that. We all come from that sun.
Tony, I got to ask you a question.
I know where this is going.
What's that?
Do you think we landed on the moon?
If we did, it wasn't what they showed us.
It wasn't that day.
It may have been, I don't know, but it wasn't what they showed us. You got to look at that film footage like,
So Tony,
I can't believe they sold this to Grandpa and Grandma,
Can you tell
man. This
them?
is retarded.
Tony, this is something that he talks so much about with our boys. Like I was walking by in the hallway and he does bedtime, like reads to them. And he's like, well, first off, this is all I heard. First off, we were never on the moon. So that's a lie.
Yeah.
And then the conversation got going. Well, then our Sunday school teacher said they were talking about what a lie is. And Nash goes like,
Truth and a
raises
lie.
a
Yeah.
truth and a lie. He's like, and then they're like, okay, what is an example of a lie? What is someone or something that lies? And he goes, NASA, they lie. We never were on the moon during Sunday
He's
school.
7.
So the son,
I guess.
And then there was another kid in class arguing with him.
Oh, really?
he's like,
Yeah.
no, we weren't. No, we
Yeah.
weren't. But that's a good point. Whatever they showed us wasn't. So maybe we were, and it just the video that they were trying to
No. there's
Hollywood up
no way.
wasn't.
Well, I think are we going back?
There's-
Have we been to the moon?
Well,
Like besides,
that's what we're asking. But
but I mean, like after that, have we been to the moon in the 2000s?
I know like China or Japan are going right. You know, right now. I think there's resources up there that they're looking to get.
But I mean, like in 2000s, have we landed on the moon?
Apparently, there's some kind of like radiation belt or firmament that
Right.
we can't get through.
How far into the weeds you want to get with this? Because we can go all day if you want.
Well,
We can talk how much fuel it
This is
takes
how
to
we
get
get
there.
cancer.
yeah, no, it's crazy. Yes, and that's why they're trying to keep those rockets up in space right now, so they don't have to refuel it.
Do you know how many they need to get there? This is just the moon.
Yeah, actually, I got a question. Okay, and I want to keep going. I really do. I really, really do. But I have to go to the bathroom. Can we break for like? It'd be like
Yeah.
32 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm a short squirt.
because I have to.
You know, and
This will be the opener.
all right, all right. That was a hell of a pee.
It's cold in the bathroom.
Oh,
isn't
it's
it?
not even that. It's like, oh my gosh, like I had to go so bad, and I felt really.
I have to go too, and Justine's waiting for me downstairs.
But I just got to show you one thing, though. I don't like your bathroom photos. It's because.
They're laughing at you.
Well, yeah. What is that?
She's laughing at you.
She's- I felt so little coming out of there.
I said that some guy, because in the downstairs bathroom, the guy's like, nice
That's
picture.
the downstairs bathroom picture.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
It is. There's a different one in there, but
yeah.
I was like, I took a picture of it right away. I'm like, that's just disheartening right now.
That's what the guy said. The guy's like, it really has a way of humbling a man.
Yeah, like I just covered it up now.
All right. So next time, Tony, we're gonna have you
Beers and banter.
beers and
Yeah.
banter.
And Tony might just be a permanent guy.
Oh
on
my
beers.
gosh,
we'll have to pitch it to
That'd
him.
be great.
It'd be
That'd
fun.
be great. That'd be a lot of fun. I had a great time. It just, I don't know. It's fun doing this.
This
You
is
guys,
fun.
I always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you guys reached out to me, I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I was thinking, oh man, I got so much to say and I want to do so much. And I don't know how much time we have. That's the one thing I should have asked before is how much time we had, because then I wouldn't have drifted off into here or drifted off
No,
into
no,
there.
that's what makes it entertaining.
We
We,
actually said in advance, like
don't want to
Tony's-
prepare.
we both said Tony's gonna end up being a guy we have on all the
Yep.
time
Yeah.
because
Pretty
you're
cool.
just
Yeah.
a great
entertaining.
personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Fun. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh,
And we're gonna pick up the
It's
where
my
we left
pleasure.
off.
You guys, I love watching your stuff. I love what you guys done this place. It's amazing.
thank you.
You guys,
Thanks.
I'm always thinking about you guys. I love watching, and it's just fun to be here around you guys. You
Thank
can
you.
tell there's a good, positive, aura coming off you and stuff
Good.
like that. I know that sounds weird.
No,
But,
it's a thing.
Yeah. So just, you guys got, can I say it? You got great frequency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's good.
Cool.
It's good to.
Thanks, man.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so fun.
Tell me freely what